now.
Thanks for sticking with us here at 7:30. While you were enjoying your Sunday afternoon, your phone may have pinged with a breaking news notification from the WBTV News app. North Carolina Republican Senator Thom Tillis will not seek re-election next year.
If you've got a surprise or jam your conference to get something done, you're a pretty legislator, and that's just not my style.
That was Tillis at the Capitol yesterday, clearly at his wits' end. The two-term senator from northern Mecklenburg County, the former State House Speaker, is getting out. This weekend, President Trump threatened him with a primary challenger after Tillis said he was opposed to the big beautiful bill being debated and amended in the Senate.
Now, Republicans are about to make a mistake on health care and betraying a promise.
He is talking about Medicaid. The Congressional Budget Office says the bill in the Senate would cut $1 trillion to the program over the next 10 years. And here's why that is a big deal in North Carolina and why Senator Thom Tillis is upset about it. Remember, Republican lawmakers in Raleigh, after years of opposition, agreed to expand Medicaid coverage to lower-income people in the state. It was just about a year and a half ago. Well, under the Affordable Care Act, the federal government takes on 90% of the funding. The other 10% is covered by taxes paid by medical providers. The way the North Carolina state law is written, if this funding formula changes and the state would have to pick up some of the bill, it triggers an end to Medicaid expansion in the state.
So what do I tell 663,000 people in 2 years or 3 years when President Trump breaks his promise by pushing them off of Medicaid?
Right now, that bill's still being debated in the Senate. Live pictures, in fact, right here. They are right now offering amendments. The president has said he wants that bill passed and on his desk by the 4th of July, which is, of course, on Friday. Now, in the meantime, the Tillis announcement to not seek re-election next year has shaken up the political landscape in North Carolina. To try to make sense of it all, we called on UNC Charlotte professor of political science, Eric Heberg.
This is a surprise. Tillis has criticized the Trump administration a few times in the past couple of years, has walked that back sometimes, has done it more frequently recently. But the surprise for me was that he had to know this kind of pressure was coming. We've seen it with other Republicans. We've seen Trump threaten to recruit a challenger against Tillis previously, yet he felt it important enough to cast his vote. And, my guess is he expected the blowback and expected that this might be, the vote that would end his career.
There used to be the expression, right, that all politics is local. So if Tillis is protecting 600,000 North Carolinians on Medicaid, why wouldn't that have strengthened his position in the state?
Because first you have to win a Republican primary. And a key consideration for Republican primary voters is supporting President Trump, supporting tax cuts, supporting less government spending. So positions that might be appealing to independents or Democrats in a general election may not be very helpful in a Republican primary. And if the president of your party is saying, I'm going to recruit somebody to run against you and I'm going to dump lots of money into defeating you, that makes it hard to win a primary in your party.
Historically speaking, is this common, these purity tests, or are we seeing more of this sort of thing?
Oh, there's a lot more of it now than used to be. It used to be, representatives were supposed to represent and were rewarding for representing, particular local interests. Now we have very national partisan elections. Where you stand is with your party, regardless of the specific effects on local constituencies. And voters increasingly rely on national media. So again, their information is based on how that individual lines up with the rest of the party, rather than are they looking at the specific unique interests of voters in their communities.
So what's the danger of this going forward?
The danger of this going forward is that, regardless of the needs of local voters, those local voters are essentially ignored because you have to stick to the party lines. And so whatever the national party narratives are, that drives the outcome. And any representative who wants to think for his or herself, or who thinks that particular nuances or changes from the party agenda might be beneficial to local voters, they're out.
Yeah.
And we get 2 points of view rather than the variety of ideas that should be present in a country of 300 million people.
We knew going in this was already going to be a hotly contested race, right, in North Carolina, even if Senator Tillis had stayed in. So with no incumbent in, does that help one side or the other?
It probably helps the Democrats a bit, but North Carolina is a very closely divided state. So I think much of it is going to depend on who the candidates are for each party, whether you have a significant difference in the quality of the candidates in each party. It's going to depend on the economy in a couple of years. If the economy is bad, the Republicans are in charge. That's going to hurt them. If the economy is pretty good, given that North Carolina leans Republican in federal elections, a good economy would certainly help the Republicans.
A lot to watch here in the coming months ahead to see who now gets into the race. All right, let's take